The after effects of a 2020 global pandemic continue to ripple through 2021. It's like we're all experiencing collectively global whiplash. And one facet of that is certainly the video game industry. They're not all flops. Make sure to check out my top 2021 games video on YouTube. But with delays abound, 2022 is set to potentially be one of the best years in gaming, and this video aims to prove why. The order is shown in release date, and it's subject to change. We've already seen many delays, so at the time of this recording, that's how it's ordered, and that's the hopeful release date. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and check me on Twitch and sub on YouTube. Links below. All right, let's roll. Pokemon has become the biggest media franchise in the world, surpassing even Star Wars and Marvel, with a total revenue of $95 billion with a B dollars. While I've only ever beaten Red and Blue, I've always loved RPGs and have been wanting to see what all the hype is about. Modern entries have, at least to this outsider, felt technically underwhelming, lacking the ambition you would expect from the most profitable media IP ever. But Pokemon Legends finally seems to shoot for the proverbial stars. Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite games of all time, and Legends at least appears to take influence from said masterpiece. The big question is if Game Freak can actually pull it off. Regardless, Pokemon Legends is a massive release for January 28th, 2022. Known for their first-person shooter franchise Killzone, Guerrilla Games made a shocking pivot to the open-world action RPG genre with their beloved game, Horizon Zero Dawn. Games are expensive, and this was a huge risk, but it paid off well, serving as a further reminder that AAA, single-player, self-contained games are still extremely desired and profitable. I mean, who doesn't want to rip apart giant mechanical robot dinosaurs? Well, fan favorite Aloy returns to a new, beautiful setting of the American West. The demos highlight more fluid, engaging combat in a vibrant, colorful world. February 18th, Horizon Forbidden West. 2022 for me doesn't officially kick off until the absolute banger and my personal most anticipated release, Elden Ring. Set to drop on February 25th after a delay, From Software's latest Souls-like promises the typical zoned areas we've grown to love, scattered throughout an open world. In collaboration with George R.R. Martin, From has said Elden Ring is in many ways the culmination of their past efforts, with Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and even Sekiro. From Software has yet to miss a beat with their action RPGs, and in many ways continue to improve on a subgenre they both created and mastered. It's been 8 years since our last numbered entry in the Gran Turismo franchise. While racing sims aren't my bread and butter, to say the least, I've had a strange on-again, off-again adoration for Gran Turismo. There's no denying the level of detail and polish that go into these games. Racing games aren't for everyone, and I get it. But there is no doubt that Gran Turismo 7 is a major release for 2022, coming March 4th. But Gran Turismo 7 will have to wait, because on the same day, we get the unfortunately named Triangle Strategy. From the same small studio within Square Enix who made the amazing and stunningly gorgeous classic-styled RPG Octopath Traveler, Triangle Strategy is their take on the tactics RPG genre. Clearly inspired by Final Fantasy Tactics and others of that ilk, I have the utmost confidence in this title. Octopath was a brilliant blend of old and new turn-based RPG. Triangle Strategy should be the same. The demo is available and I highly recommend it. Already, it's super polished and has a bevy of interesting mechanics. Triangle Strategy is possibly my number 3 most anticipated game of 2022, and I suspect I'm not alone. This next one is bizarre, and it is far from guaranteed it'll be great. But Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin could be awesome. At the very least, it's created quite a buzz already. What gives this game its strong potential is its developer. Team Ninja has created, in my opinion, the best Souls-inspired franchise with the Nioh games. They are exceptionally crafted and stand toe-to-toe with From Software titles. the trailer shown became a meme-ified killer of chaos. It's easy to point and laugh, but don't count out Team Ninja. They have the chops. And the idea of a Neo Final Fantasy is arguably the most surprising and intriguing game of 2022. Arguably the most anticipated game of 2022 is the sequel to the magnum opus Breath of the Wild. I mean, what could be said about this title? Nintendo broke free of its routine and proved that risk-taking Nintendo is the best Nintendo. They took the open world genre and boiled it down with a laser focus on exploration and discovery. No huge quest slog, no cluttered map, incessantly vying for your attention. Just Link in a gorgeous world, go kill Ganon. Little is still known about the sequel, not even the title. Heck, it may not even make the projected 2022 release date. But regardless, I'm 100% here for it, and will be streaming all day, every day. Finally, we got more information on Bayonetta 3. Announced 2017, this game has seemingly been in development hell, leading to wide speculation of eventual cancellation. I'm still not fully convinced it will release. Platinum Games has been hit or miss over the years, but Bayonetta, in my humble opinion, is the king, or rather queen, of stylish action games. From the makers of the underrated Evil Within games comes Ghostwire Tokyo, a heavily stylized action-adventure horror game that is a timed PS5 console exclusive. The focus, they've said, is fluid action, movement, and personality. I'm still not fully sold on Ghostwire Tokyo personally, but it's generated a ton of buzz and is undoubtedly a sizable 2022 release. A game that I am fully sold on, however, is God of War Ragnarok. I love the IP since the first game in 2005, and the reboot hit the top spot on my 2018 Game of the Year list, beating out incredible titles like Red Dead Redemption 2, Spider-Man, and Into the Breach. Like the aforementioned Breath of the Wild, 2018 God of War took big chances with a long-standing franchise and genre, and completely stuck the landing. I would have preferred a new setting and more chance-taking with this next entry, but Ragnarok remains a serious contender for most anticipated game of 2022. Boy, that Nintendo Direct, am I right? Tons of shockers in that presentation, but perhaps most jaw-dropping was the ambitious-looking Kirby and the Forgotten Land. The pink ball of insatiable cuteness is transitioning to 3D, and looks to be inspired by the god-tier game Super Mario Odyssey. Coming spring 2022, Kirby and the Forgotten Land was such a wonderful surprise and already appears to have that ineffable Nintendo magic we've come to expect. Plus, it's just nice to see Nintendo showing the same love they give to Mario and Link to other awesome characters they own. Now all we need is a 3D platformer starring Waluigi. Wah. Tactics lovers like myself will be eating well in 2022. While the aforementioned triangle strategy excites me most, two other titles look very promising, one of which being Metal Slug Tactics. I never expected Metal Slug to return, especially as a strategy game, but that is a combo I never realized I wanted until now. Gorgeous sprite-based graphics and animation, and likely over-the-top action, make this game an extremely exciting prospect. The other Tactics RPG we now know will release in March 2022 is Marvel's Midnight Suns. So I'm long burnt out on the MCU, but not at all on this genre, and having Firaxis, makers of the beloved XCOM reboots, at the helm gives me plenty of confidence this game will rule. The developers have said this is not just Marvel XCOM, and they are taking chances. This does give me at least some pause, but again, I trust Firaxis. Hopefully the deep strategy and unforgiving challenge will remain, even with a mainstream IP like Marvel. Let's keep this tactics train a-rolling with Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Kingdom Battle was an excellent take on the genre with a focus on movement and accessibility and colorful Nintendo characters, mixing it up with the Rabbids in a whimsical and charming adventure. If you are new to tactics games or have been intimidated by the complexity and challenge, Sparks of Hope is a game worth keeping your eyes on, though we have no release date other than 2022. Confession time. I've only played a bit of the first Splatoon and didn't exactly fall in love. But this list is not just about me. It's about all the big releases of 2022, and you can't make that list without including Splatoon 3. a super colorful, obviously, third-person shooter that's beautifully animated with a focus on multiplayer, kid-friendly shenanigans. One can see why Splatoon has a strong following, and why the third entry only makes 2022 an even stronger year. Bethesda. Bethesda. Much can be said about Bethesda. Whatever one may say about Fallout 76 and the myriad of poor corporate decisions, there is no doubt that Starfield at least promises to be a monumental 2022 release. Said to be Skyrim in space by Todd Howard, I can't deny my excitement for sci-fi Elder Scrolls, despite my reservations about recent Bethesda. It's been 25 years since they created a new universe, and new is the key word here. That's what I want from the ambitious studio, new. And that includes a new engine, though I doubt we'll see that. It is still using the creation engine, and with comparisons to Skyrim, I'm just not sure if proper new is what we will get. But you know, even if it really is just Skyrim in space, well, Skyrim is top 10 all time for me. So either way, I am here for it. November 11th, fingers crossed. So that's it, a year that just might be one of the best years in gaming. Let me know what you think. Am I nuts for thinking that this is so good? What games are on your most anticipated next year? And yeah, I love hearing viewer feedback. Love to get the different perspectives on what people have to say. So yeah, let's do some, we got a lot of honorable mentions that I wrote down here because this video would never end if I mentioned everything, if I gave its own time. So what do we got? We got, well, Diablo 4, Overwatch 2. Who knows what's going on with those games? Advance Wars 1 and 2, excuse me, remake on Switch. Even more tactics love. Our cup runneth over. We got Saints Row, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, Stalker 2, A Plague Tale sequel, Sifu, Baldur's Gate 3, Cult of the Lamb, Evil Dead, that might be cool, Gotham Knights and Suicide Games, Oxenfree 2, Stray, which is that cat cyberpunk game, looks cool, Salt and Sacrifice, which is the sequel to the highly underrated Salt and Sanctuary, a 2D Souls-like Metroidvania, awesome. I wrote down Skull and Bones, I don't know, TMNT, Shredder's Revenge. That's like a cool retro looking beat 'em up. We have Replace, which is an indie cyberpunk game that's been getting a lot of hype there. We have Forspoken, Darkest Dungeon 2, State of Decay 3, Redfall, The Callisto Protocol, which is from the guy who made the original Dead Space. It's kind of inspired by that. That looks awesome. And Dying Light 2. All right. Whew. Thank you so much, guys. Make sure to let me know what you think, and I will catch you next one. Bye.